Hey folks, Drew Walden here with Papaw Odell's in Cleveland, Tennessee, and this is a 1987 Deering Deluxe banjo that I have just absolutely fallen in love with. But Dad was playing it the other day here at the shop, and he noticed that the tailpiece is broken. It's got the Presto tailpiece on it, and like so many other Prestos that I have seen, it has developed a crack right here. This is probably at least the fourth Presto tailpiece in the last year that I've seen fail. It seems to be a fairly common occurrence on these tailpieces. Because we need to replace the tailpiece anyway, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to test if the tailpiece affects the sound of a banjo. So I've got this cast price tailpiece, a very high quality tailpiece, this one. So we're going to record a before audio sample, we're going to replace the tailpiece, and then we're going to do a sound demo with the price cast tailpiece. And let's see if it actually changes the sound of the banjo. I'm really curious myself. Let's see. Stay tuned. Alright, so we just saw that the tailpiece does make a difference in the sound. Also, when we adjusted the angle of the tailpiece, it made a different sound. So let's consult some literature just to make sure that we're not just talking out of our mind here. We have this book called Complete Banjo Repair, and it does talk about the tone and the volume as it relates to tailpiece. So there's a whole chapter on it. Chapter 10, Tailpieces. Tailpiece adjustment. It says, a very heavy tailpiece may have a small muting effect on banjo sound, but more important than weight or material for determining the sound of a banjo is the length and angle of the tailpiece. So the length and the angle. So we're worried about tension here on the bridge itself. As you crank the tension tailpiece down towards the head and cause the string to bear more strongly on the bridge, volume increases and tone becomes brighter and sharper. For a darker tone, but sharp enough for bluegrass, you can also use a tension tailpiece but adjust it for low tension, angled up and away from the head. Listen to the tone of Earl Scruggs and J.D. Crowe. They are both players who don't like their tailpieces and heads too tight. All right, so here's the bridge. Okay, the string's coming across. If we angle the tailpiece down, you can imagine it's pushing more tension on the top of the bridge. So we're going to get more volume and a brighter sound. Think probably Ralph Stanley, that kind of sound. If we adjust the angle to relieve tension on the top of the bridge, we're going to get a different sound. And according to this book, and I think also to my ear, you will get a darker tone and slightly less volume, but it's still plenty of volume. I think if you go too low though, it starts to sound kind of hollow and floppy. It's kind of got a floppy sound. I don't like the way it sounds. And so it says something else in a different chapter about the tailpiece angle. It says, tailpiece angle, a tailpiece that is adjusted to bear down hard, so angled towards the head, increases the pressure on the bridge and will make the banjo feel stiffer to play. If you prefer tight tension on the strings against your picks, you may want to angle the tailpiece down towards the head. That's going to put more pressure on the bridge and it's going to make the strings feel tighter against the pick. But I think for ultimate tone, I think it's somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. If you go way too tight, it sounds, it's like the overtones are clashing. It sounds really metallic to my ear. If you go too loose, it's like wobbly, like it's just a loose sound, and I don't like the way that sounds either. But somewhere in the middle, it starts to really sound like a banjo, in my opinion. So I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching. See you next time.